It's time to take a very cynical look back at the NXT
All Wrestling Show, baby.
Well, welcome to All the Wrestling Show. I'm your most fickle host, Lip Hazlewood, and this is a very cynical look back at the latest episode of Representing the WWE and live from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. It's the NXT. Air date, August 29th, 2023, of course. Now, this episode is the aftermath of Heatwave and the road to No Mercy. Now, before we dive into the show, just a quick shout out to the non-competitors. That's right. They are the glue that holds the building together. Now, first and foremost, he's rarely seen these days, but he is the man who makes all the decisions, strips belts if it needs to be done. It's Shawn Michaels. And of course, getting all the pre-match interviews and all the backstage scoops, it's Mackenzie Mitchell. And heading into the ring, it's the announcer, it's Alicia Taylor. And last but certainly not least, it's the commentary crew. The play-by-play guys, the hosts. And I even call them the narrators, the whole damn show. They are the team of the two-time Hall of Famer. The man with the checks and championships on his mind. He is, of course, a shucky ducky, quack quack. It's a Booker T. And with Booker T, as usual, the voice of reason and a tippity-top commentator on his own. Diggity, that's right, Vic Joseph. Now, without any further to-dos, let's get on with the show. And this show, NXT, tonight, it's their turn to pay tribute to two great fallen WWE superstars. First and foremost, Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. Going to be tribute in tonight's show. Anyways, we start off this show here with the first match, and it's a tag team match. Now, this one here has huge implications because it is between Diamond Mine's Brutus Creed and Julius Creed versus the Schisms, Dyads of Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler. Now, this one here is apparently the fight they had. This is going on, you know. They had a point where Diamond Mine, or should I say the Creed brothers, were booted from the NXT. Now it's come down to this kidnapping of Ava Rain. And now we got ourselves a little bit of the getting back. So if the Creed brothers win this match, this steel cage match, they're back in the NXT. Now this cage match was made set so nobody can interfere. That's right. So here's it is. The Creed brothers are going to the match here all by themselves. No Ivy Nile. So it starts off with the dyads. You know, Rip Fowler, Jagger Reed hit the ring there. They're accompanied by Schism, Joe Gacy, and Ava Rain, and their minions. Right, all the minions. Joe Gacy calls upon the Dark Order around the ring. That's right, it's where they slide up around the ring. Now, the Diamond Mine, they get to the ring there. I guess Julius Creed goes in the ring there. Before Brutus Creed can get into the ring, he gets attacked by the minions. The Dark Order has been set. So here's the funny part. Brutus Creed's getting his ass kicked out there by a bunch of people, you know, by some minions. Joe Gacy closes the door. The referee goes, "Hey, that's done. Let's start the match." Like, really? Seriously? Start the match? So, yep, that happens. Usually, if this tag team match starts as a handicap, it's either supposed to be handicap or it's okayed by the person who's being handicapped to start the match early or start the match as a handicap. But anyways, so I find that weird. Not only does match start, but Brutus Creed is taken away. Taken to the back by the rest, by a bunch of minions. Bunch of the minions. So yeah, it's unfortunate for that. But however, inside the ring, it becomes a handicap match, regardless if you like it or you don't. And of course, it is Julius Creed making Rip Fowler and Jagger look like a bunch of fools, like buffoons in the ring there. Just double teaming them both. Single teaming the double. It's crazy. So a double clothesline just knocks them both on their ass. And then he gets really creative. He gets Rip Fowler in a ankle lock. Jagger runs up there and he gets hoisted into the air. A single arm. The power of Julius Creed. Just power bombs the holy hell out of Jagger Reed. Creed just smashes Reed. However, it is a 2-on-1. Eventually, the dyads, Rip and Jagger, they get the upper hand. But this time, oh my goodness, while they're beating the holy hell out of, Julius Creed, Brutus Creed, oh, I hear a rumbling in the back. A rumbling, I tell you. And then you see some, the minions get thrown around. I guess there's no more Dark Order for the ring anymore. It's Brutus Creed running around there, smashing his way through the minions. And then at one point, he gets all Superman-like. All the minions go around him. And they're like, hi-ya-ho! And he punches through the minions. Hoo-ah-wah! It was hilarious. But apparently, Joe Gacy has a key. Apparently, he has the key because he brought his own lock. And he's getting away from Brutus Creed, so he can't get into the ring. I'm thinking, he could easily climb up and inside the ring. I mean, there's no big deal. Unless, of course, you lack the climbing ability to climb a chain link fence. So it's ridiculous. But apparently, Brutus Creed did not even need the key. He didn't even need to climb the fence either. Apparently, the hinges on the door were made of chocolate. That's right. It can only be made of chocolate. Or maybe, I don't know, cardboard. So not only does he rip the door off its hinges, but that poor lock, it got ripped off too. Now I thought, if this is going to be like that, I thought he's just going to get the lock and just like, bah! Break the lock, Because that can be done, if you can break the little lock locking mechanism and lock. That's pretty. It's probably more feasible to break that mechanism than the two hinges and the chain itself with one fell swoop. Absolutely ridiculous. So it gets worse. It gets worse because Brutus Creed, not only does he rip the door off his hinges, but he also brings the door into the ring and smashing, single-handedly taking care of the dyads. Rip Fowler gets smashed with the door itself. And we got ourselves, Brutus Creed helping up his brother, Julius. Now, the only thing, as far as I know, a steel cage match goes, there's two ways of winning it. One way is inside the ring with a pinfall or a submission. Second way is getting out of the ring, getting out of the cage by climbing out or using the door to get out. That's the two ways of winning. So now with the door off its hinges and not even on, it's easy to win now. You just have to walk out of the ring to win. And what's the point of the thing? Why? You just have to win. You don't have. It's not the point of the match is not to beat your opponent to death. It's a fact that if the dyads win, the Creed brothers are out still. Creed brothers win, they're in. So all they need to do is walk out that damn door, and they won. So this match is like ridiculous. It's like, well, what's going on here? Did they just forget about logic? Because at least if you broke the lock, they can at least close the door again, and they can use the new lock them back in. Anyways. Brutus helps Julius Creed up, and the dyads take over for a little bit. And they use that door to try and crush Brutus Creed onto the ground. Now, they could have took their time to walk right out there, walked out of the ring and won the match, And after that, they can send in all their minions to finish him off. We won the match. We escaped the cage. Now we can just beat up the the Creed brothers inside the ring. You know, a nice farewell to the NXT. But no, it goes on. They try to squash. Brutus Julius Creed joins his brother and push the door off of them. Oh, and then crushed the dyads themselves onto the ground there. Oh, it was terrible. And then it gets even worse. The dyads are picked up as a double powerbomb by Julius Creed, picking them both up like they're little insects. Like insects, I tell ya! And then he turns around and walks him around to the other side of the ring where Brutus Creed jumps off the ring top rope with his Brutus ball, his patented Brutus ball. He bashes them off the shoulders. And then after that, they go in for their double sliding lariat. And like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over! The Creed brothers win and they're back. They're back, baby! Diamond Mine, they're saying... Now, Vic Joseph says that Diamond Man is more stronger than they've ever been. But that's absolutely false. I remember when they had, Roderick Strong there and, Bivens, Malcolm Bivens there too. But anyways, what gets interesting is Ava. She looks at, Grand Theft Gacy with the eye like, I thought you were a winner, not a wiener. Semantics, I suppose. So she leaves like she just smelled a horrible fart. Like she smelled a horrible fart named Joe Gacy. And joining the victors is Ivy Nile. Celebrating, yes, the team is back together. The boys are back in town. The boys are back. So now we go on to, apparently there's the NXT's Global Heritage Invitational. The Global Heritage Invitational starts. And it's an 8-man tournament for the number 1 contender to Noam Dar's Heritage Cup, which is going to be taking place in 5 weeks at No Mercy. 5 weeks at No Mercy. So Noam Dar has got 5 weeks off. And he's loving it. And of course, every champion takes so much time off. Look at everybody. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, haven't fought since WrestleMania. So 5 weeks is nothing. So anyways, who's in this one here? In Group A, it's split in 2 groups. Group A, it's Butch from the Brawling Brutes, Charlie Dempsey, Tyler Bate, and Axiom. Group B is going to be Nathan Frazier, Joe Coffey, Akira Tozawa, and Duke Hudson. It's true. So now we go backstage, and it's with a little bit of the Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. See? Alongside, talk to Carmelo Hayes, being triple champions there. Champions in that room, baby! And now, let the party start. Let the party start. Yeah! No ordinary party, but this is a private party now with the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, formerly of the NXT, going down there and giving kudos to Carmelo Hayes and whatnot. And I guess after that, oh my goodness, we got ourselves a women fight. It is the team of, what's that? Dana Brooke, Kalani Jordan, and they're fighting Electra Lopez and Lola Vice backstage there. And I guess Montez Ford's like, hey, this is a new NXT, baby. Not quite like that, but just like, this is new. And exciting and new. It's NXT. We're awaiting you. Okay, so now next up, it's a NXT Global Heritage Invitational rules for the match. Now, this whole tournament is apparently it's in the round robin style tournament with 2 groups of 4 superstars. These matches have a 12-minute time limit, so it's a 12-minute match. A 12-minute match, which, kind of makes no sense a bit there. Considering, what's that? No, it does make sense. 12 minutes. So 12 minutes, because it does make sense, because the Heritage Cup tournament, Heritage Cup match, it's 6 rounds, 3-minute rounds. So they changed that. I mean, is it the Heritage Cup rules match changed now to this? Is it really just 12-minute match at the most? Of course, in this you got at the end of the match you get points, and the person with the most points wins. So pinfall submissions worth 2 points, a draw is worth 1 point, so it gets a double count out, or I don't know, double disqualification. A draw is really hard to get these days. A double pin is very whatever. Anyways, the winner of Group A faces the winner of Group B, and the winner of that match will eventually fight Noam Dar. Eventually. Yeah, that's a great thing for Noam, because damn, he just has to. It's just like Roman Reigns fights every 4 times a year. That's the perfect way to do it. Another tournament, if you please. They'll take 5 to 6 weeks. Okay, moving on. Enough of that diatribe. We start with our tournament, our very first round of the tournament, of the round robin. Round robin. Now, watching this tournament, it's the metaphor of course, Noam Dar, Oro Mensa, Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson, while watching the match. And the match is, of course, Charlie Dempsey versus the Brawling Brutes, Butch. Now, this was a good match. This was a good match. They have a similar fighting style. They do the, they grab the fingers. They twist the hands. Yeah. So it's pretty fun. Now, at the end, of course, this match was about around 5 minutes. It was an average NXT length match. 5 minutes is the average, So it ends with this. They're like doing the, stretching of the fingers and pulling of the joints, So ending with Charlie Dempsey, of course, he's going with a dragon suplex. They're on the second rope. He tries a dragon suplex Butch off the second ropes there. Butch lands on his feet, and he grabs Charlie Dempsey by the hand, and he rips his fingers apart and rams his arm down across his shoulder, and then turns around for a massive not really end of days, it's his massive, bitter end. The bitter end, which is, of course, just like end of days, a modified flatliner. The modified flatliner ends it for Charlie Dempsey, and moving on will be, or not really moving on, gaining 2 points in this tournament. It's Butch, and 0 points for Charlie Dempsey for the loss. So next up, we got ourselves Mackenzie Mitchell with Dragon Lee. Now, at Aftermath, at Heatwave, there was a tag team match. Dragon Lee actually got the pin on Noam Dar. And not Noam Dar, but he got the pin on Dominic Mysterio. Got pin on Dominic Mysterio, and she says, "Do you think you deserve to be first in line for the belt, for the title, for the North American Championship?" Before he can answer, we have Mustafa Ali. He comes over there, and he's got some things to say to Dragon Lee. And now he's like, hey, listen, it's pretty. The whole Mustafa Ali shows how intelligent he is, and he knows how to talk and how to twist words and stuff. It's really good, pretty intelligent, I gotta say. Now, what happens here? It's Mustafa Ali comes in there, and he basically says, hey, you've had your match with Dominic Mysterio, you lost. And he said, listen, you got to agree with me that the North American Championship deserves someone, a title holder that is worthy of it. And Dominic Mysterio is not it. And you got to agree with me on that. And Dragon Lee's like, yeah, I agree, yes. It's like, then you agree this, you lost your opportunity, and it's time for me to have my chance. And then it was pretty good. So yeah, he wants his opportunity, so it's going to be something. Something's going to happen. Will he get his opportunity right away? Well, we'll find out soon enough. So now we go into the ring there. Ilya Dragunov cutting a promo and cutting some cheese there. Ilya Dragunov. Oh my goodness. That's right. Ilya Dragunov gets down to the ring there. And basically, he believes that because, well, first of all, he gives Trick Williams some respect from Respecto, saying that Trick Williams, well, because he had a good match, and he figures the NXT universe should give Trick Williams respect as well. Even though Trick did lose, but, you know, losing in a cause where, you know what, he earned the respect of Dragunov, which is good. And now he's looking towards the Carmelo Hayes. He wants his opportunity again to become champion. But then we got ourselves a improvitude. You know, we got ourselves a little bit of the Supernova Sessions. It's now perched on top where the, you know, what's that? The Toxic Attraction used to sit. Oh, those were the days. Now it's the Supernova set. The what's that? The Metaphor, the lounge of the Metaphor, and it is, of course, we all know, Noam Dar, Oro Menza, what's that? Shakira Jackson and Lash Legend up there, and Noam Dar is just doing his best, cutting down Ilya Dragunov, and of course, Noam doesn't have a match in 5 weeks. I'm thinking, oh, here's going to be something. Noam Dar and Dragunov, that's going to be good. But Dragunov offered the match. You know? So a lot of talking. It's pretty funny. I like Noam Dar. Noam Dar is great. Anyways, it turns out that next week will be not, what's that, Ilya Dragunov versus Noam Dar. But Oro Menza is going to step in. That's right, Oro Menza gets to the ring there and flips him the bird. Flips him the bird. That's right. The British style peace. Nope. So yeah. So the disrespect Oro Menza is showing Ilya Dragunov. And Ilya is like, no! And they start fighting each other, start beating each other up. Ilya Dragunov sets up for the Torpedo Moscow. The Torpedo Moscow. But Oro Menza gets out of the way, gets out of the ring just in time, because you can't have the Torpedo Moscow now. You gotta wait till next week. It's going to have the dive down punch there, you know, the what's that? The missionary punch, the missionary elbow, I call it, and they calling it too. I'm pretty sure they're calling it that. So, anyways, we go backstage, and it's with a little bit of Robert Stone and Von Wagner. He challenges Braun Breaker next week to a no DQ match. That's right. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting. Wonder what's going to happen there. I'm going to put you through a table. Mm-hmm. You're going to get table. His new shirt, new merch. Because he does the table thing now. You're going to get tabled. Tabled. That, I think that's new things. Like, hey, how can we get? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So now we move on. Next match. It is the women's division tag team match, and they were fighting backstage. It's Electra Lopez and her tag team partner Lola Vice, and I gotta say, this group here in the Performance Center, the fans here are big fans of Lola. She's getting good cheers, good pops, you know. Versus Dana Brooke. No one likes Dana Brooke. She's trying hard though. She's trying her hardest. But she's not won over the fans, you know. And her partner, Keilani Jordan. Now Keilani, I think Keilani's got some serious ass talent. She's got a lot of potential, I think, Keilani. She can go all the way if she could. She's got so much skill, and she's got the mind for it. Anyway, she starts off the match, and the first half of the match is Keilani versus two people, and she held her own for a little bit, and then till she started getting her ass kicked. Now, I thought, honestly, Dana Brooke was going to leave, teach her a lesson somehow. Like, oh, you lose all them. I will teach you a lesson. I will not tag in. I was wrong. But we got a moment in this match. Now, this was a tag team match, and this was clean. This was super clean tag ropes. But there was a moment here where Keilani was going to give an arm drag to Lola, and it is Electra Lopez. She gets her arm there. They hook arms, so the arm drag couldn't happen. Now, technically, that is a tag. That would be considered a tag. Even though the rope wasn't grabbed, that is technically a tag. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Not in here. Not in here. The referee didn't say tag because right after that, Electra Lopez grabbed the ropes. Grabbed the rope and got tagged in. It happened. Clean, super clean. And that's how you do it. And Electra and Lola doing their big move, their big move of the night. It's a double hip bump. Double hip check. A bump like a dance move. Do the hustle. Bump. It bumped Kehlani's head between two pairs. Regardless. Okay, so yeah. Kehlani ends up turning things around. A nice spinning heel kick. Huge. To get Dana Brooke in. And then Dana Brooke went ham. Ham on Electra Lopez. Oh, she went ham on Ham Town. Elbowing him, her into a corner. Disregarding the referee. Referee really wasn't really counting anyways, but this could have been a DQ right there as well. You know, a 5 count plus. So the fans were cheering. The fans were jeering. And she whips Electra Lopez to the other side of the ring and starts smashing her, trying to smash her. And then, Lola comes in the ring to help out, but she gets smashed too by Dana Brooke. And then we got ourselves, the tag back in, where Kehlani tags back in, and it's a tangent move, where it's an assisted standing moonsault, where Dana Brooke assists Kehlani doing a moonsault, which I don't think she needs assistance at all. I think Kehlani can probably do the moonsault by herself. But regardless, that's done. She goes to her pin, and that's when Lola comes and breaks things up. And then Dana Brooke comes in and breaks up Lola a little bit, maybe not. They fight outside the ring there. Lola throws Dana Brooke face first into the steel steps, so she's put out of cognition for the rest of the match. While inside of the match, it is inside the match, it's Electra Lopez picks up Kehlani in a spine buster. Then Lola with a spinning heel kick, whammo! Knocks the lights out of Kehlani, and then whammo, spine buster, wham ma'am, thank you ma'am. It's over. And outside, losing her shit, losing her composure and her shit. It's of course Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke. Oh, I cannot believe it. Oh, no. Yep, she was on crazy mode. She was on crazy mode, I tell you what. So next we got ourselves the future Fatal 4-Way match for the main event. Setting up the players, and the sexiest woman of the NXT. It's Gigi Dolan claiming her spot on top, thinking she's going to be, she's looking forward to seeing Tiffany Stratton for the championship title. So that we got, now we go backstage. This is, I laughed because I realized what this is basically the writers are writing, what this is all about. Now this is basically Trick Williams meeting up with Carmelo Hayes, formerly #1 hype guy. Carmelo Hayes still your champion. Right now it's Carmelo Hayes thinking that because the match between the first match, of course, the first time they went together, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, it ended with Ilya Dragunov jumping headfirst into the title belt, which caused him to get hit in the head with the belt, and cards fell towards Carmelo Hayes winning. So Carmelo Hayes is going, I got an asterisk near my name. I don't think I would have won without you. And Trick Williams said, yeah, are you kidding me? That's crazy. You gotta get over that. Get over it, buddy. Get over it. Now, this one here reminds me of one thing only, and that is Rocky 2, baby. Yes, right. Apollo Creed. This is it. Carmelo Hayes is Apollo Creed, and Ilya Dragunov is apparently the Italian stallion, the Russian Italian stallion. Because after part 1, Rocky won. If you haven't seen it, Rocky part 1, Rocky did lose, but it was it went down to the judge's decision. And it went to distance. He went to distance. So the judge's decision made Apollo Creed decide, like, hey, my ego, I can't take it. I got to fight one more time. So then apparently that made Rocky 2 where, Apollo Creed loses to Rocky. So this is the whole thing, I think, This is Carmelo Hayes complaining to Trick Williams, thinking that, there's an asterisk next to that window. I must make sure that I can do it on my own. There should be no doubt. There can be only one. Okay, maybe no Highlander references, but anyways. He's not over that. His ego can't handle that against Ilya Dragunov. Yeah, I think Ilya Dragunov will eventually be the champion. And will he be a champion at No Mercy? Probably. Now, next up, we got ourselves a big match. It is huge. It is huge. It is Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. And this match here was about 4.5 minutes long. Now Dijak comes out there, and Eddie Thorpe, he comes dancing out there, and they start fighting outside the ring there. This was like from the first kick outside the ring before the match started. This was about 4.5 minutes. This was a lot of fun. This was like a standard NXT match. A standard length NXT match. But, however, I thought Eddie Thorpe was only good for one type of move, which was the German belly-to-belly suplex. Release or non-release, I thought that was his only suplex, his only throw he does. But this time he got me wrong. Now they called it a brain buster. But you know what? I don't think you can do brain busters these days, a legit brain buster, without killing your opponent. So brain busters have been basically a suplex. They're a suplex, really. They just look like a suplex. So, if you look at this and someone didn't say that's a brainbuster, you think that's a suplex. Anyways, moving on. Getting over the hump of whatever it's a brainbuster or suplex. After that, it is Dijak with hard justice, apparently. Hard justice. The sit-down chokeslam. And Eddie Thorpe kicks out of hard justice. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Now, here's where it gets really crazy. Now, Dijak, he decides that he wears a strap around his waist. He calls it a belt. I'm not sure what it's made of. Perhaps some nylon of some sort. So he takes that belt off and he wraps around his fist. Like, he loads up his fist like they're knucks. It's ridiculous. He might as well just had knucks in his pants. Or Electra Lopez did. Hide the knuckles inside the ring padding. So he can take it out when he needed it. So anyways, he takes his belt off, wraps his fist up, and he tries to deck Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe sees it. Oh, no! He takes the belt off of him. They struggle a bit. Eddie Thorpe tries to get the whipping in, but it's blocked. Dijak takes the belt back, and he disregards it outside the ring. He deposits it outside the ring so the referee can't get it. Will that belt come back and play? Who knows? But anyways, the fight goes outside. Eddie Thorpe with a massive, slingshot, high cross body, outside the ring. Pretty impressive, nice looking. But it is countered, pretty impressive. A Dijak grabs Eddie Thorpe in a body slam position. In a slam position, a world's strongest slam position. And he spins around and chucks him into Booker T's chair. Thank goodness Booker T wasn't sitting in it, but he chucks him into the chair. He grabs a chair. There's a folding chair now. He grabs a folding chair. And he climbs in the ring there. He's kind of like, I'm going to hit you with the chair now. And he swings wildly. He would have got eliminated or disqualified if this were to hit. Anyways, he misses with the chair. Eddie Thorpe decides to grab the chair. Dijak gets outside the ring. He climbs outside the ring there and, And he collects his belt. He collects his belt outside the ring. That's what Dijak does. Sorry about that pause, but I got some issues in my head. Anyways, so inside the ring, Eddie Thorpe grabs a chair, and the referee's like, "No, you don't." He grabs the chair himself, and the referee turns his head and goes right back and tries to, deposit a chair outside the ring, the long way apparently. And Eddie Thorpe hits those ropes. Dyjak is now outside the ring. He collects his belt, wraps around his fist, and punches Eddie Thorpe in the face with that nylon belt. Eddie Thorpe goes down, and then Dyjak with the knee, with a spinning foot. Actually, he does a tornado spinning pump kick. He does a spinning pump kick, a pump kick. No more, feast your eyes. I thought he did feast your eyes. I guess after seeing Zoe Stark's version of that, go to sleep, he just stopped doing it. So now we got ourselves Kiana James. Kiana James, she makes things happen. So, and she does, apparently. She's getting ready for her position in the Fatal 4-Way tonight. Now with that, we got ourselves Braun Breaker back there with, Baron Corbin. Now, next week, it's going to be a no disqualification match between Von Wagner. And Braun Breaker thinks, hey, if you decide to interfere with this match, that's the last thing you're going to do, period. I'm just going to smash the living hell out of you. And, of course, Baron Corbin keeping his cool. And he laughs at Braun Breaker, saying, your ego, like this, his fingers pointing with, 3 fingers pointing back at him. I'm saying that. It's a metaphor I'm thinking of. Anyways, I don't care enough about you to interfere, but you know what's going to happen. Baron Corbin is the Viking funeral. Baron Corbin will interfere in the match next week. No doubt about it. He will. But who will he be helping? Who knows? That is the question. Now, with that said, we got ourselves a little bit of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. They get matching tattoos of scratch marks. Just like the wolves. The old wolves of the old days. Except smaller, little scratches. They got matching scratches tattoo. So next week they're going to be making their debut again. Their re-debut, because it's funny. They wake up with blood on their hands. Blood on their hands. For making their, daddy embarrass them. Their granddaddy, Anyways, regardless, they're having a remake of the Humberto, and no more are they going to be Los Lotharios. What is their new gimmick? Who knows? But all I know is this: these two have potential, and as Los Lotharios, there was potential lost. They were Los Lotharios. They were the Lucha House Party. They were a laughingstock with talent. So can they do something? We'll find out next week. I'm pretty sure next week they're going to be fighting 2 unknown people, and they're going to win. But next up, we got ourselves a tribute to Bray Wyatt. It's some heartfelt talks from, Vic Joseph and Booker T. And they did a little vignette on the screen there. The history of Bray Wyatt. It's tough. It's a tough thing. Young guy. Anyways, now after that, we go straight to Blair Davenport. And Blair Davenport, she is, of course, the destroyer. The destroyer of women in the NXT. And, So she's looking forward to her spot in the Fatal 4-Way. Next up, we got ourselves a little bit of a Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. He's got a message for, Dragon Lee and Mustafa Ali. Basically, I believe next week they're going to have a match. It's going to be Dragon Lee versus Mustafa Ali. The winner becomes #1 contender to the North American champion, which is Dominic Mysterio. And in order to make sure there will be a winner, Dominic Mysterio personally will become the special guest referee, which we all know what's going to happen. In the future, there's going to be a triple threat match for that North American champion. And this is a message from your forever champion, Dominic Mysterio. He claims to be a forever champion for the North American title. Anyways, which is a good mindset to have if you're a champion. So next up, we got ourselves the, of course, Group B of the Global Heritage Invitational tournament match. And like I say, the same rules apply. It's a 12-minute match. no rounds. That's it. And it's between Gallas, representing the Gallas boys, and looking like little bumblebees outside. It's, of course, Joe Coffey inside the ring, and it's his brother, Marcus Coffey, and Wolfgang. 3 little bees, buzz, 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 outside. And now, versus Nathan Frazier, former Heritage Cup champion. You know, just dropping it the other week to the greatest, one of the greatest wrestlers out there, Noam Dar, part of Metaphor, and having 5 weeks off. 5 weeks off. So how about this match? This match was it was match of the night, but it had its problems, and the problems could have been huge. Nathan Frazier, he does the ultimate rookie mistake. The ultimate. Now you got to be beyond a rookie to do this mistake. When you run the ropes, the ultimate rookie mistake is if you do not put your arm up over the rope, so you do not fall over or fall through the ropes. So you put your arm up the rope, so you stop yourself. So basically, yeah, there's a safe way to run the ropes, and there's not a safe way. And this is what I guess either laziness or just I don't know. So Nathan Frazier runs to the ropes, hits those ropes there. His elbow doesn't hit, none of his elbows hit. And he whiplashes his head off the top rope. And then it whips him forward, which in turn chops in the front of the neck, right off the bat. Joe Coffey sees what's happening, and Wolfgang automatically sees what's happening. Like, oh my God, this is not good. Marcus Coffey ends up seeing what's happening. Referee's like, oh, this is, whoa, the whiplash Nathan Frazier got there. I'm thinking, yeah, this is not good for his neck, his career. But they end up carrying on more, you know. And I might say, it's, Joe Coffey. Now, I believe he calls it, the Glasgow Send-Off. With Joe Coffey does a Glasgow Send-Off, which is basically, if you've ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny, where Joe Pesci, the little Joe Pesci runs and jumps, just had this guy in a fight, gives you so mad. This is the Joe Pesci. It's hilarious. Becky Lynch usually does this move too. It's funny. Anyways, the match carries on. Enough of my cynical opinion now. This is where it gets also very dangerous. Joe Coffey's outside the ring. Nathan Frazier goes for a tope suicida. Now, topes are the most dangerous moves in all of wrestling. Most hardcore, most difficult and dangerous, like I say. Now, here's where the problem is. I guess Nathan Frazier wants to impress, so he goes all out. He goes all out. This is the between the second and third rope, tope suicida. You would think it's safer, but you got to get a lot of speed. And here's where the problem is. Joe Coffey is his problem. Now, Joe Coffey, what he should have done is catch Nathan Frazier in the air and take a back bump on the soft mat. But he didn't. Joe Coffey ends up falling forwards. Nathan Frazier, with his momentum, flying right by Joe Coffey. It is embarrassing. Joe Coffey, shame on you. Joe Coffey. Anyways, Nathan Frazier lands flat on his face. But it wasn't supposed to happen. Nathan Frazier was supposed to have hit Joe Coffey. So Nathan Frazier pops up like nothing happened. Gets Joe Coffey in the ring with a massive high cross splash onto Joe Coffey in the ring. You know. Ends up trying to get the, they call it the Phoenix Splash. Just get the Phoenix Splash onto Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey moves out of the way. And when they both get up, Nathan Frazier is hit with the, Natalia Neidhart does this a lot. It's a spin around clothesline, you know, the tornado clothesline. This is the tornado clothesline by Joe Coffey, and now is apparently enough. A clothesline from Joe Coffey, and there was enough to finish the match, and there was just under 10 minutes. But, however, with everything said, the mistakes that were made, this was a really good match, very competitive match, and match of the night for sure. And Joe Coffey wins. He goes up with 2 points in the tournament. So who's going to win? Who knows? There's got to be some sort of tie going on in this tournament. Somehow a tie is going to happen. Everybody's thinking, how is a tie going to happen? They're going to do it. A tie is going to happen. I guarantee it. When I guarantee it, perhaps. So yeah, watching the whole thing was, of course, the metaphor. The metaphor. So now we go backstage. It is with the Chase U. Andre Chase looking for no Thea Hale anywhere. And Andre Chase ends up finishing the class with the rules of the the Heritage Cup Invitational, the International Invitational, and Duke Hudson's a part of it. So after the class is over, we got ourselves Thea Hale in a different type of on Duke Chase U t-shirt, a black and red trimmings like the evil Thea Hale. Now this segment was clearly taped in 2 different days because not every single wrestler was available during this one taping. Because it's hilarious. Cut to another angle. Cut to another camera. We got ourselves Thea Hale's newest partner in crime. Taking her to the dark side, it is JC Jane. Now, instead of going to study class, Thea Hale is going to a bar or going somewhere with JC Jane, hanging out there, smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey. Maybe not, but anyways, I think this is good, perhaps for both of them. Thea Hale, she can use the, I don't know. Anyways, it could work. Thea Hale and JC Jane going into another tag team. Now, next we got ourselves, of course, something weird. It's Fallon Henley. She's recruiting Miles Bourne for a triple threat or a 6-man tag. It's going to join, I believe, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. And I believe he's going to be fighting Miles Bourne is going to be fighting his team. I don't know. The team he's been, young boying for, doing their dirty work. Yeah, I'm doing grunt work here for Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey and, Damon Kemp. Anyways, then we got ourselves, after that, it's a little bit of Tyler, it's a little bit of Wesley. Wesley on vacation, taking some time off for himself. Because his, after all, things aren't going good for Wesley, so he needs some time out to breathe a little bit. But he's not done. He's not done with Carmelo Hayes. He wants back in. He wants another opportunity, baby. So yeah, when he's back, he's going after the belt, which is good because Wesley truly is one of the best wrestlers out there in the world, baby. The world. Whoosh. Next up, we got ourselves a little bit of Mackenzie Mitchell with Tyler Bate, and Tyler getting really focused out. What you think about Butch? Like, yeah, I talked about Butch having a history, and nothing would be better than eventually having fighting Butch in the Invitational of the Heritage Cup and Invitational. But however, before that even happens, he's wants some revenge on the Giant. Yabba Dabba Kadu! Yep, Dabba Kadu. That's right. So you picked on the big strong boy. You don't do that. I want some revenge on you. Yep, Dabba Kadu. I want revenge on you, Dabba Kadu. But anyways, he wants some revenge on. Next week he's going to be at the ring. He's going to call out Dabba Kadu. And will it be a Yabba Dabba Day? I don't know what that means. Next up, we got ourselves a big finale. The Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contender spot for, Tiffany Stratton's title. Tiffany Stratton. Mm-hmm. So it is between Roxanne Perez, Gigi Dolan, Keana James, and Blair Davenport. Now, one thing is clearly present that you can clearly know. It is their gear, their wrestling gear. They all have new gear. Now, I gotta say, Gigi Dolan, her new gear is gold. It's like silver and black. Yeah. My personal opinion, Gigi Dolan is the sexiest woman in all of the NXT. Hands down. But nevertheless, everybody looks great in the ring there. All the ring gear looks next level. Blair Davenport, yeah. It's basically the same style, but you know it's new. You know it's new. So what happens here? It gets weird. This match was fun for the people to watch. Now they had a moment there. They call it the human centipede. The human centipede. I call it that because it starts with, of course, Roxanne Perez. She sits down and she gets leg scissored by the waist by Kiana James. Then Kiana James, it's Gigi Dolan, gets her with the head scissors. Gets her down there, the headlock, the leg lock, the head triangle on her. And then Blair Davenport jumps on top of jumps on top of Gigi Dolan to finish the human centipede with her own leg triangle onto Gigi Dolan's head. It was hilarious. So later on, they had the mandatory Tower of Doom. And Tower of Doom is, of course, Gigi Dolan was on the bottom. She got on the bottom to the power bomb. And she was power bombing Kiana James and Blair Davenport, who were trying to superplex Roxanne Perez off the top rope. So yeah, so Roxanne Perez gets the worst of it. She gets the superplex, Kiana and Blair get power bombed. It's a lot of good stuff. Now the end sequence was this. Roxanne Perez goes for pop rocks and Blair Davenport. Blair gets hit with that boom, and she gets her momentum, rolls her outside the ring, which was pretty impressive, pretty ingenious way to go. After that, it's Gigi Dolan tries to go for her the Gigi bomb onto Roxanne Perez. She blocks it by holding the ropes. Gigi goes down. Roxanne tries to get the Gigi up for her pop rocks, but however, Kiana James runs in there with her 401k on Roxanne Perez, knocks her out of the match, and then with one hell of a move, she gets the looks like the recoil, a form of the recoil. Although it looks closer to eat the feet, except with the knee. She gets there, she wipes the knee on her face, on Gigi's face, and then drops down. Gigi goes down. That's right. So 1, 2, 3. It's over 11 and a half minutes. It's Kiana James, now your new number one contender for Tiffany Stratton's belt. Now, I think Kiana James is a damn great wrestler. She's a really good wrestler. Her 401ks are just beautiful. It's a beautiful finishing move. I think Kiana James is ripe. She's ripe to become the next women's champion, I think. I think she's got the skills, she's got the intelligence, she's got the entire package to become the next women's champion. That's what I think. That's what I think. Anyways, now that does wrap it up for this week's episode of the NXT. Now, for our podcast listeners, stay tuned for after the break. We'll come back with some SmackDown. But for the YouTube watchers, this is it for this show. I've been your host, Lip Hazlewood, and we'll see you next time on The Wrestling Show.